Hey there, I'm back again. This is Elisan, and today I want to talk to you about what exactly that I did to turn my life around. So the lawsuit didn't disappear, it is still here. What changed was my perception towards the situation. When life is going good, we tend to forget about God. We tend to forget to pray. We tend to take things for granted. And when shit hits the fan, you're like, oh my God. And all your knowledge and all the faith, the trust, and basically, like, do you doubt yourself? Everything, like the good and the bad would just surface, and you start to ask deep questions. And if you are asking deep questions because of the situation that is presented to you, then you are on the right track. Because when things are going south, then that is when we stop our tracks and we actually start to question ourselves. What the heck are we doing? Is this what I want? Am I on the right track? We need a divine intervention. We need to break the habits because this is life. Life would just move on and life grows. Bob Proctor used to say, or I heard this from him, the moment a graduate graduates, he's obsolete. So this is how it is, and not in the sense of technology or knowledge or whatever it is. You see this in nature; it moves, right? Every season is different. You know that spring, summer, winter, autumn will come, but every spring, summer, winter, and autumn is different from the past season. So there is no expectation. We cannot expect it to be the same. However, there is a system in nature that we have to abide to. And even though I know that there's always a breakdown before a breakthrough, but if you are going through a breakdown, you would be like, oh my goodness, why is this happening to me? And so one of the questions I ask myself is this: what lesson do I need to learn from this experience? Because it's all about the learning experience, it's all about growth. Once you've learned it, it will no longer be a trigger. So for me, it was always running away, and this was my default mode. I was telling my friend Lee, and she's like, but you don't seem like that person who will run away because you have a big community and you have been coaching. However, we all have our inner demons. We all have our shadow, and we all have this thing called the ego that we cannot really get rid of it. So you have to learn how to work with it. So since the lawsuit has come, and I know that at this point I can't avoid it anymore because it has gone all the way to the court, and I really have no choice but to do it. It really forced me to, pattern interrupt my thought process and to not judge it, not give it a story, because I'm afraid, I'm scared of the situation because of the story that I'm telling myself. This is causing me so much stress. This is not what I've asked for. And I was in a victim mindset and I was cursing that person. But what if on a soul level, this person is actually helping me? Intellectually, we may not be able to understand it, but my friend Keon gave me this mantra, and I'm sure you know it as well. I forgive you, I'm sorry, I love you, and I thank you. This is a Hawaiian mantra. I don't know how to pronounce the entire name, Ho'oponopono or something like this, Ho'opono. Okay, you get the point. And it's a beautiful mantra, and I kept repeating, and I repeated it, and I repeated it, and I repeated it until I could find that center where I found peace. And I could see that although the human ego mind was blaming her, but she on the soul level is really helping me to see who I am. And we need people to help us. Sometimes soulmate does not come in the form like, oh my God, you're so amazing, you're pretty, you're gorgeous, you're so smart. Sometimes soulmate comes in the form of people testing your boundaries and testing who you are and testing what you're made up of. So instead of being angry towards her, cursing her, and hoping that she never existed, I chose the other way because I know that old way of thinking and old way of functioning is not working. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to go through this. So I started to give her blessings. I started to see her perspective. I started to bless her. I wouldn't say what is right and wrong because we all act out based on our own, decision, based on ego or love or whatever it is. So I dropped my judgment, and I drew my boundaries. And the reason why I've attracted this is as well because my boundaries were weak. I allowed people to do whatever it takes to do whatever they want to me and make me feel like shit. But it's not their fault. I allowed it and I took that responsibility back. And so once I took that responsibility back and realized that I've given that power away, and further diving deeper into this, it was really my inner child screaming for help. It was because I didn't want to grow up. And so as a result of that, somebody had to take the reins, and my inner child was taking the reins for so many years. And what would a child know how to survive in the adult world? And so this forced me to grow up as well. So many times we don't act our age appropriately. We may be 40, we may be 55, but how come we are acting like 3-year-olds? We're acting like 12-year-olds. Because that 12-year-old and that 3-year-old was hurt and they need attention and they want to release that energy, and that's why we have triggers. And so there's so many layers to this lawsuit: my inner child healing, drawing boundaries, living in the now, no judgment, forgiving the other person, and disidentifying from my ego. And that's what came out of this beautiful lawsuit. So whatever situation that you're in right now, know that it's happening for a reason. Life is happening not to you, but for you, and as well responding to you. So if you want to elevate, if you want to grow, raise your vibration, to go back to default mode, the factory mode, which is pure unconditional love, then we have to start letting go of all these identities and all these stories that did not belong to us in the first place. Because when the ego kicks in, you are separated from God. And so this is what we are here to do. Go back to default mode. Go back to factory mode, right? So I know that for sure that there is a breakdown before a breakthrough, and the breakthrough is on its way. Do not give up. Do not give up. Remember the book in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich? That dude was 3 feet to his gold. So you are 3 feet away, and trust me, you are just one thought away from the life that you want. You are one perception away from the life that you want. We all want to get to the promised land. It is the promised land. And it is up to us to decide how long we want to take to be in this victim mindset, how long it takes, how long do you want to be in this situation? Because sometimes it's very pleasurable to be in the victim mindset, whether you agree with me or not, but sometimes unconsciously we just soak ourselves there. We know what to expect versus what the promised land feels like, because we don't know how that feels like. And we're so emotionally attached to this place, which you and I know it doesn't serve us. So make a decision. Make a decision to let that go. Make a decision and invite divine intervention. Invite the angels, your guides, whoever that you believe, to come step in. And be prepared. When they intervene, there will be chaos for a while, because your comfort zones are being challenged and you have to change your perspective. And human beings are creatures of habit. We don't like change. But change is necessary if you want to grow. And know that you are divinely supported. What's the worst that could happen? If you have asked for divine intervention, what is the worst that could happen? All right? So knowing, this is the last thing I want to leave you with. Know that you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. The moment you believe your thoughts, you enter the veil of separation. So you have to identify and know that whatever you are thinking, it does not represent you. So now the question is, who are you? So think about it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.